my name is Hollis Roberts, and I'm a program manager with Magic, and I am here tonight with our mentee Amber, who just presented, and her mentor Anouk. Amber, will you introduce yourself and tell us about your project?
Hi, my name is Amber Garcia. I go to Marymount High School, and my project was researching the correlation between socioeconomic privilege and empathy levels within high school girls. So basically, the way that I sort of conducted this project was it had multiple steps, but in the end, it was I used this thing called the Toronto Empathy Questionnaire, as well as like the TADS financial aid survey and the My Intuition financial aid calculator to form questions for privilege and empathy. Both were 16 questions. The privilege questions were yes or no questions. The empathy from the Toronto Empathy Questionnaire were graded 0 to 4, where half of them were negatively worded, so they were reverse scored. I sent that survey out to the members of Marymount High School, so that was 273 students, and I wanted a 95% confidence interval with 5% margin of error, basically meaning that 95% certainty that my data was properly representative of my population. In the end, I only got 63 people to take the survey, which is a lot lower than I wanted, but here we are. I still got results. Basically, I used this thing called Pearson's correlation coefficient to calculate my correlation, and it ranges from -1 to 1, where an absolute value of 0.5 to 1 is a strong correlation, and anything close to 0 is usually weak correlation. I did end up with a negative number, which means negative correlation. So my hypothesis, which I don't remember if I mentioned before, my hypothesis was that there would be negative correlation between privilege and empathy, meaning that the more privilege someone has, the less empathy, and so on and so forth. So that was proven right, but I had a very weak correlation, meaning that my data was not strong enough to be exactly negative, which could be a result of the few participants that I got, but also the environment of Marymount. It's a very high privilege, so my data on privilege was skewed, so I did not get as much data for people in lower economic statuses, which obviously skews my overall data, preventing thorough sort of analysis. Also, women are shown by the Toronto Empathy Questionnaire to be more empathetic than men. They have an average empathy score. So the Toronto Empathy Questionnaire is graded from 0 to 64. They have an average score of 46 to 48, whereas men have an average score of 43 to 46. So as I said, women have more empathy, and Marymount is an all-girls school. So empathy was also semi-skewed.
That's good. Awesome. And Anouk, will you introduce yourself and explain what it was like working with Amber on this project?
My name is Anouk. I'm a radiologist. I work in AI and I know how to code. And it was amazing working with Amber. I mostly worked with younger girls, and the intellectual leap to 11th grade was amazing. And Amber was just so interested in this, and we learned things together. And I felt like I was really talking to a colleague. I was talking to another scientist. It was really gratifying.
Oh.
And fun to watch. I watched you grow, I think, and I think you learned a lot about the scientific process.
Yeah.
You didn't know before.
A lot. Yeah.
That's amazing. And Amber, what was your favorite part of this mentorship?
I would say definitely in sort of the beginning phases, we played around with ChatGPT to sort of help us zone in on a question, and also to help us find the questions that we would put in our survey, which was pretty fun because we got to put in different prompts to ChatGPT and say what experiment. Yeah, it was a very fun experiment. So
yes, awesome. And another question for you, Amber, what tools, I know you use ChatGPT, but what other tools did you use, including the IRB? Maybe you can explain that.
So basically, the survey itself was sent out through Google Forms, and the data was analyzed through Google Sheets. The IRB board, I had to get approval from them because of the fact that my survey would have human subjects. So obviously we had to look into the ethics of the actual project. Basically it was a multiple stage approval process. I had to write a proposal, then edit the proposal, then edit the proposal again, and then finally get approval and send out the survey, which took a long time. But we like in the end got to send out the survey, so that was good.
Awesome. And final question for you, if you knew somebody else was interested in magic, what would you tell them about the experience and also the challenges of being part of the magic program?
I would say sort of like, how do I word this? Like, really just like sort of go into it with a very positive mindset, because like you can't go into it expecting nothing, because you're not going to get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
it's sort of, you really need to sort of like cherish the actual opportunity you get, because it's very helpful, and it's like, it's such an amazing experience, especially getting to work with like a mentor. Like we combined our interests like in the end, and like I would have never thought about doing that. So it's really interesting to sort of get a like professional perspective whilst also sort of looking into things that you're interested in. So
Oh, awesome. And final question, I'll ask you the same. If someone was interested in mentoring through magic, what would you share?
Really just don't have too much of a plan, follow your mentee, go where they're leading you.
Great insight. Well, thank you both. And again, Amber, fabulous job. It was amazing seeing you present.
Very good.